the next part, and again, I don't know how much you know this, Tyler. I meant to kind of talk to Sierra about it more, but can this situation be a blessing in disguise for this Florida Rashada situation? Now, it has to kind of unfold because if this thing gets closed or goes to court and gets done, then obviously Florida's is still in process. They could use this as an example. If no rulings come from it, it's not going to really do much. But if more situations like this come up, it really nullifies what this is, because although we were first and it was a big explosion, if this thing kind of amplifies up bigger than it's the big difference is that Rashada didn't come on campus, right? The NIL was able to pull back and say, I don't know who promised you this, but we ain't doing this. Versus this situation, they promised, they get him on campus, he's playing, and he's like, where are these checks at? And then no checks are happening. So a little more, an issue, but I still think it's going to come back to how the Florida situation is, where it's like, it's a he said, she said. Like, I really don't think anybody has a case here. And so it could be a good thing in the sense from Florida's perspective and protecting the Florida brand of like, look, dude, you were first. You thankfully you created a new rule, but you got burned in the process. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations. Like, we knew some of these situations would happen. Unfortunately, we were part of one of those. UNLV, unfortunately, was part of the other situation, which those are two completely different situations. But, I mean, I think, and I don't know this, I'm no expert on this, but I know that there's certain lawyers that, like, work on a contingency basis, that kind of stuff. Like, can you hire like a contingency lawyer that says, hey, look, I can't sign a contract right now. I can't like do that until I'm enrolled, whatever. But if, something goes haywire or whatever, like, can you help me look at this contract before I sign it for a certain percentage of the contract if this goes right? I think in a way, like, if you can do that, get you like a contingency lawyer that says, hey, I don't have to pay you if I don't sign this contract, but if I do, I have to pay you a set amount of money, and just kind of raise the price a little bit and say, hey, I got to pay for this lawyer.
Hi.
This Rashada thing is also very intriguing because I believe he said it was a contingent on a $13.85 million deal. But once again, there's no contract. So where are you getting, like, where is this number coming from? You know what I mean? Is this just a number that he came up with, or is it like a number that a coach said? Or like, what is, once again, I don't know, but it's just like there's something that we don't know that we're missing. And it's gonna be very interesting to see how it goes moving forward.
Yeah, look, that one was more. It's a he said she said battle, but there's a little bit more. Again, it goes back to you can have the signed napkin, the text that can connect you to some kind of promise. Which then that opposing side, Rashada or the UNLV kid, would have something. Look, I don't think these kids are necessarily wrong, right? Listen, these schools are big business. They're not dumb.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. I can assure you they have screwed over these kids more times than not. And I'm not going to sit here and play woe is me. And I'm not saying these kids haven't done the same thing, recruits screwing over the money bag guy and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the big dog going to eat being the school. It's football season, which means it's time for you to start winning with your favorite players on and off the field. And with Prize Picks, you can do that. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. And what's special about this time of year right now is that one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you one win on Prize Picks every week in September. That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. So you select Caleb Williams to have more than 0.5 passing yards. Gotta get one, and you have a W. We're already halfway there. Now, some of you only need to pick 2, but I want to go 4 because when you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. So Caleb Williams is going to be my first selection to have more than 0.5 passing yards, then Travis Hunter to have more than 79.5 yards, and then more Jackson Arnold to have 265 point yards, more than that in this week coming up. Big time weekend for football. be sure to download the PrizePick app today and use the code Hightop and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code Hightop on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win. Receive $50. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Now back to the show. Okay, they're not what they are because they've been nice. If there's anything that I've learned in my 30 years, if you up there with the big dogs, you've laid down to the fleas, my boy. Okay, and these schools are rolling in the dough. It had taken a ton of advantage of these kids for a very long time, and there's a point now where these kids have a voice. And unfortunately, I feel like what might get masked as like, oh, you're taking away our sport because these kids are being spoiled brats, which I agree. There's part spoiled brats and there's part kids where they're just getting screwed and they're trying to speak up. Like it's both.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You allowed them to be, though. I mean, like, if you allow somebody to do something, they're going to take advantage of it.
But the NCAA spoiled brats. The NCAA is a bunch of spoiled brats. They've been stealing money forever.
Exactly. I agree. Look, it's a bunch of brats. That's what we're working with. We got to find the middle. We got to find the middle ground.
Money hungry brats. That's all we got.
The thing about like getting it over text, like a coach is not supposed to negotiate a deal over text or phone, whatever, because that's a violation. But like as I said, like if there's a way around it, like you hire a contingency
no negotiation
lawyer.
should be happening before he's on campus. I know why you're saying it.
But we all know they do that.
But you're not supposed to. So that's where the line has to be drawn. Is that like, oh yeah, we know what's going on. Well, okay, if you again, law is supposed to be somewhat black and white. If there is conversations happening, and I know that they are, don't even yell at me. But legally, if you take this to court, it should be tossed out immediately. It's like you have no legislation here because both of you broke the rule. Both of you operated outside of what's supposed to be happening. The NIL contracts are supposed to happen. And this is what we have. Nate Barbera will come on all the time. We say, hey, what's the conversation? How is this affecting recruiting? He goes, look, we have the recruits meet with the players that are doing the NIL. We allow it to do the speaking for itself because we cannot have that conversation. And that's how, and that's fine. It's like, how's NIL? I don't know. Look what I'm driving, cat. Look what I'm doing. Look what they signed me up with. Like, yeah, I gotta post a few pictures of me doing this, like, the kids foundation, things like that. But yeah, I'm rolling in. That's how you market it. That's how you're supposed to sell it. That's the legal way as of now. Clearly, I know that's not happening, but that's how it's supposed to be happening. So crazy day.
Well, I think we need an alcohol contract for this show or something like that. I mean, we need sponsorships. Anybody out there, come on, contact me. It's not an NCAA violation because I don't play college sports. So come on.
How much money do you think NCAA made off of Tebow? They made off of Reggie, and they made off Johnny Manziel, and they made off all those guys. They made billions off of those guys, and now the younger guys know that, and now they're just trying to, get what they believe is probably theirs.
And look, I think that's where I agree with it. There is a point where it's like, yeah, these guys. But at the time, here's where I differ. Everyone's like, oh, they made $1 billion off Reggie, $1 billion off these guys. Reggie Bush, Tim Tebow also wouldn't be there without these organizations too. Like, I'm always in the middle because my thing is like, look, if you're a business owner and think about the school as being the business owner, they created the opportunity for you to become Reggie Bush. You feel me? Not that I'm okay with it, but it's like you want to get pissed like because now Reggie's suing them, but it's like, look, like this wouldn't even be a conversation without it. And it's like you went there knowing it's like. For me, I worked at Publix. When I worked at Publix, you couldn't have a beard, you couldn't have tattoos showing, you couldn't have piercings. Now they don't give a shit. You can do whatever you want. But when I worked there, you couldn't have any of that. And I hated it. But I can't bitch about something that I knew was the rule when I went there. Like nobody forced me to work at Publix. That part I kind of that's my pushback.
But you have to play the NCAA because that's the only way you're getting to the league.
Fair enough. And look, I think that's why it's good because, look, you're 100% right. They created a monopoly, right? They created a way that there was no way around it. And so it's like, look, if you're forcing me to go this way and you're also making money off of me, then we need to have a middle ground. And I agree with you. You stunned me there. You got me there. You lowered me on that one. I agree. But I'm still 50-50 on it. It was.
I get it. I understand both sides of it. I totally understand.